What you doing, man?
You go be videoing while you're showing?
Yeah.
Video the cat.
She's in the video. It's on.
What?
She's right there.
Right now, go away for the camera.
She's gonna stop looking. How's it going today, folks? Today I wanted to actually make a video talking about winters as a landscaper, because winters can be they can be a pretty slow time. And I remember back when I was in my 20s and I was a lot more active, I would end up gaining about 10 pounds every winter. You know, I'd work all year, 8-10 hours a day, walking behind a lawnmower back when you did that. And then winter would come and I wouldn't. And I'd, be active, but not nearly as active. And the weight would come back on. The last few winters, what I've been doing is spending a lot of time online working on editing videos. I have a lynda.com membership, and anybody that wants to learn how to use any of the Premiere products, that's the way to go. Whether it's Adobe, it's not Premiere. Anybody that wants to learn any of the Adobe Creative Cloud products, that's the way to go. They've got more courses than you know what to do with. And the thing I've learned is to be a master at editing video or shooting video takes a lot of time, and I feel like I can always improve. But to be one of the best, man, that's some dedication. But being online, I really get sucked into this stuff because it's like I really want to know how to do it. But then I can't get away. Just like when I was fixing my Bobcat years ago, or, it used to be I'd always have a winter project. Once I bought my house, whether it was redoing a closet, putting hangers in a closet, I did some electricity for some fans in the house to move the heat. There was always a project, but my projects seem to, funds are less in the winters, and I'm really interested in learning to be a better video shooter. Check out this hill. For the next half mile, we're going uphill. And it's funny, I don't like hills, I don't love hills, and I don't do good going up them. But you shorten your steps a little bit, and for some reason I find it not easier, it's harder, but I guess it's less stressful on my body to jog up a hill. Doesn't this look less stressful? I always jog on the side of the road facing into traffic. So if heaven forbid somebody loses focus or gets an iPhone call, I can jump out of the way. Coming up here is this is Dead Man's Curve, because the road really narrows and it's a blind curve for oncoming traffic. We gotta focus here. See that car? They were gonna cut it tighter. Once they saw me, they moved out a little bit. And I'm running right against the edge of the road here with very bright jogging clothes on. Okay, we plateaued that first hill. We got a couple hundred yards flat. And then there's a small hill that's gonna get us when we make the next turn. Okay, here's the turn, and then it's going to be a small 150 yards uphill. It's gradual, but after the hill before, it's noticeable. My pace has actually slowed down to just keep moving as opposed to any kind of progress here. Okay, we made the crest. So this turn is the halfway point. I'm at like 1330, which is actually pretty good. But honestly, I was trying to take it easy today, so I need to slow it down a touch. We got a downhill coming. Let me catch my breath and get back to what I was talking about. See that? Downhill. So when I was younger, you know, I would gain 10, 12 pounds every winter. Whatever conditioning I had built up was gone. And a few times I did go to the gym over the winter, and it made a difference. It made a difference because I was stronger coming out of the winter, but also just because winters are long. Winters are long, they're dark, they're cold, and you're not outside. And I need to be outside, and every time I try not to be outside, it actually affects my mood, and I get kind of down. I think it's like seasonal something disorder, but winters I can usually get down. So I'm trying to nip this one in the bud and jog. So I had been jogging over the summer. I started in the spring, and I had to build up. The route I'm doing today, the first few times I did it last spring, I couldn't even finish running. I had to walk. And I built up to where I had a couple jogs over the summer. I got up to like 5.5 miles. It doesn't matter the speed, just to keep the body moving for 5.5 miles without walking. And I made some changes to my diet too. So I actually lost, from last spring, I probably lost about 12 pounds. And unfortunately I've gained back, you know, I'm probably only down about 8 from what I was at the end of last winter. But I'm trying to do something to keep myself moving. So about midsummer, I did a couple races. I had the best time I ever had in like years on a race. Again, you know, compared to my 20s, they were slower than that, but the times alone were good. But what I was doing is I kept increasing my mileage and the intensity of the workouts without giving myself a chance to kind of plateau. And I know for guys that work out on a regular basis, they know better, but you get in the moment and you're like, the harder I push, the quicker results will come. And I don't think that's the case. So on Thanksgiving morning this year, I did a turkey trot, which is you get out and run on Thanksgiving morning at like 8 in the morning. And it was a 5K, 3.1 miles. My time was, I think it was like around 31. It was a little under 31 minutes. Not good for competitive runners, But to just get out and run and to be there, I felt good about it. But I hadn't run in like a month and a half before I did the turkey trot. And boy was I beat when it ended. So since the turkey trot, I've been trying to go for a short jog. The jog we're doing today is 2.5 miles every other day. And then I'll try to do some stretching, some push-ups, some planks. You know, nothing crazy, just enough to keep my body used to feeling resistance. And I had been splitting wood up until about a week ago. We had a cold snap, and honestly I got sucked in by learning about videos, but I've still kept up with the jogging, because it only takes me like a half hour for the jog. It takes me about a half hour to cool down and stretch, and then like another half hour to kind of get my shower in and kind of be ready to, you know, enter life again. But by going out for a 2.5 mile jog, my body feels like it's been worked. It's a long straightaway here. There's a couple of 100 yards behind with a hill. This is the last big hill. It can get tough to see that hill at the end though. But as long as I'm running with my breath, I'm not super tired, I can do a hill. If I'm pushing too hard and my legs are hurting already, or I don't have my breath, hills can be trouble. So we're gonna be all right. It's funny, I feel like I'm jogging slowly because I'm talking to the camera, but the time on the camera says that I'm doing okay. Guess you guys are keeping me motivated. This is a pretty slow road, so I cheat and I go on the shorter side of the curve. And I just keep my ears open for cars. It's not about speed. It's about keeping momentum, pushing the body a bit, just building up a core level of your body being used to moving. All right, I got dogs coming. I'm going to switch sides. How you doing?
Hey.
No dogs. Just a guy walking who probably thinks I'm nuts. We made it to the top of the hill. So from here on out, it's basically down or flat. And as long as I don't push too hard, I'm gonna be okay. We're doing okay. 5 minutes is about as long as it would take me to get back. That's not bad. And I'm not pushing. But I got that adrenaline from staring at the camera in front of the world. The other thing I try to do is, you know, on the downhills, I try not to go too hard and pound my feet into oblivion. And I keep thinking that maybe one day I'll have more endurance or strength so I can go a little harder down hills. And it depends. If I took a few days off, if I just took like 4 days off right now and jogged again, I'd probably have my best time I've had in a while. But I want to, you know, and that's going to happen because I'll just miss some days. But I want to just build up a base level of you know, my muscles being used to moving, and not have spring come and my muscles just be like exhausted. And I'm pretty sure it's going to be more than jogging to do that. But for now, I just want to do something. Here, a couple 100 yards, we're back to the road I live on. Maybe that's 150. Sometimes around here I will start to push, because I know I'm only about 400 or 500 yards from the finish. Flat. Even if I go too hard and I'm tired, I can coast in. Depending on the day, some days I'll go hard, some days I'll go easy to finish. I try to go easy so my body doesn't go from sprinting to nothing. Final stretch. So there's our time. 26:50. I would round that to 26:50, and I'll take that. So I got out and I ran for 26:50. It's not a ton, but it's something. And I'm not out of breath. And that was 2.5 miles. Not that it's a competition, because I know, I could go faster and a lot of guys could go faster. I think that's one of the big problems with running and talking about your times, is people start having a great time and they'll post it on Facebook, and other people who don't run as much will try to come up and match that time, and they push too hard and they get frustrated. But I think the secret to running is to just do your best and be consistent, if I had to guess. When I wake up in the mornings, my left leg especially, but there's something called plantar fasciitis. I don't know, there's a muscle down there or tendon down there that gets cramped up, and when you don't use it for a while, it cramps up and you have trouble walking and you have to stretch it out. So I try to do this exercise whenever I finish to keep that muscle or tendon or whatever loose. And I do it when I wake up in the mornings too, and sometimes through the day. I should do it more often. Stretching is the key. I wish I'd say I did more, but stretching is the key. I'm not sure we're going to keep this one in the video, but let's see if we can do a plank. And I was watching some videos about yoga, and they say in yoga you do the exercises for 3 or 4 breaths. So let's see if we can do a plank for at least 3 breaths, maybe 4 if we can do it. Supposed to be tightening my core when I do this. Okay. Now let's see if we can do 10 push-ups. Upper body strength. Haha. Okay. Something's better than nothing. And then this next one is really awkward, but it's great for the back. I don't know, whenever I do this one, I just feel better for the next day. Tightening the core and the bum and just holding it for a while. Really awkward. feels good. You're working muscles that don't often get worked. And then here's another awkward one. I'll probably edit out, but sometimes I'll do butterflies to stretch my groin. But I was at my son's karate studio, and what they showed me was what they have him do at the studio is you put your hands in front of you and you kind of lean into it, and it's an easier way. I find it's easier to kind of push my legs apart and stretch whatever those muscles are there and just leave a little tension on them. When I do the butterfly where you're sitting down, I have a hard time pushing my legs down, but I can feel the resistance more on my left than my right, but I can feel the resistance doing this. Yeah, that's pathetic. But you know what? It's pathetic, but I'm out doing something. I'm not sitting on a couch. So guys, that was it's pretty much the end of the workout. I'll go drink a couple glasses of water, probably do a little more stretching. I never do enough stretching, and I really need to do more. But the reason for this video was basically just to say, guys, you know, keep in shape. I know winters are slower. Try to get some exercise, and you don't have to go to a gym and, you know, push it too hard and injure yourself. Just get out, you know, go for a jog, go for a walk, split firewood.